Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly sip. I just sipped. Are you all sipping too? Get your coffees ready. Also, Dom came over. Dom is Dave's girlfriend. She came over to the SFO mansion and brought homemade cookies. Oh, no, not bad. Hey, Big Dro. Hey, everyone. What's going on? They are chocolate and is it hard taffy, I think? Hold on a second. No, not taffy. Not taffy, it's toffee. Yeah. Taffy is all light. Toffee is very hard. Yeah. Man, why is it the case that there's two like different sweet candy type things named taffy and toffee, and they're completely different? Anyway. Oh. SFO Mansion is just like an old meme name. No, Dev, you're trying to lose weight. No. No, the homemade cookies. Dev eating all of Dave's girlfriend's cookies to wash down the salad consisting of a whole emu and a single leaf from an evergreen tree. Thanks for the cookies, Dom, says lives in Dev's walls. Thanks for the $5, dude. Rest is $0, $5. The rightmost image in the thumbnail looks like a food who can't keep it in their pants. Either girl's pose doesn't help. Oh my god. The fucking Japanese rape Fudas. Okay. I'm gonna eat this real quick. I think there's score. I think it's score, yeah. Anyway, I can see the YouTube chat, even though only the Twitch chat is appearing on screen right now. Hello, Twitch. Dracus, thanks for the $5. Hey, Dev, watching through your Zelda 2 series yet again. I've been gathering game design stats. Awesome. Hashtag play Hyperlight Drifter. Hashtag RPG Maker. Listen, Dracus. I don't know if our playthrough of Zelda 2 was that good, to be honest. Harpuya for $5. Enough is enough, Dev. You will upload the trucker video tomorrow, and I'll tell YouTube that you groomed me and called me the N-word. Yes, I did. I did, in fact, groom you. Artemis, thanks for the $5. Dev, what do you think about the J6 committee hiding a sculpture testimony from the public and then a list Cheney lying about ever existing? Show me the proof of what you said. You gotta send it to me. Noxalis says, make Dave play the original Sonic 06. Listen, we already did that. In 2016, 10-year anniversary, we played Sonic 06. The original. On 360. Hold on a second. Give me a moment. Yeah, I wanted to see what Fenlander said, but his tweet's not even there. What the hell? I see, Radically Milquetoast is replying to Fenlander 404, but I don't see Fenlander 404 himself. He says, I think it's healthy for Arch's chat to hear a differing opinion because I believe them to be black-pilled libs. Listen, just out of curiosity, how much of you in the chat are actually also in Arch's Archcast chat? Rusta, Artemis, the stream just started. Nova says, Dev turned me trans. I actually, specifically tried to not turn you trans. Me. These are really good cookies, dude. Oh, man. Okay, apparently there's a super chat that I missed way back when. Let me scroll back and try to find it. It's God. Uh-oh. Let's see what I can do. I am rarely in Arch's chat. I can't stand it. Yeah, Nova. I kept saying, Nova, just be a gay guy. All right? just be like a gay femboy, dude. It's a lot easier than being trans. Being trans is often a death sentence. Okay, let's see here. Let's see this. Let's see the super chats. Stug says the weekly sip is never late. It begins precisely when it means to. Based. That's how it is. Based. It's my first time. What is my opinion on libertarians? I mean, libertarians are often closer to liberals than a lot of other unorthodox ideologies. But libertarians ultimately just don't get how things work. You know? Man, this coffee's really helping me out. Whew. I've had a bit of a busy day, to be honest. I've had a bit of a busy day. But no. I've read like enough libertarian political philosophy at this point to be like, honestly, ideology is the domain of the stupid person. Because ideology just tells you how to think. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter what ideology, by the way. Socialist, fascist, libertarian, conservative, liberal, even. Ideology just programs you, right? You don't have to actually think about what's good or bad about any given situation. You just say, oh, well, I have these values, and I'll just take the input data and filter them through the values, and I'll get like a prepackaged outcome, and I can just use that. And it's like, well, it doesn't really tell you if it's good or bad, right? Oh, Zectech. I now have to demod you, Zectech. Sorry, since you stepped down. No offense or anything. You're still a cool dude. No, a lot of the libertarians are like, we need to shrink the state. And it's like, actually, in some instances, you don't want the state to shrink. In fact, in some instances, you do actually want to be a statist. But that's a whole long fucking rabbit hole, you know what I mean? Finlander says, I was responding to Sig Earther saying you were hated in Archer's chat. I was talking about you being leftist's advocate, which antagonizes Archer's more right-wing chat by default. I mean, sometimes I play leftist advocate, but sometimes I'm not. Sometimes Archer's chat is just actually retarded. And by the way, Arch knows this too. Archer's fine with it. He's made his peace with it. Very good. Create your own master morality, says Dracus. Do not subscribe to slave morality. Understand your own soul. Based. Thank you very much. Dranzer for 25 Australia bucks. Thank you. Here, this is for the months of fancy Xbox stuff that Dave used to pay for the JFGs. Thanks very much, Dranzer. Thank you. I sent you what you asked for. I expect a cringe response from you. I'll have to look at it later, Artemis, but thank you. I'll give you your cringe response at some point. No, Naomi's not here today. Naomi's at work. Just real quick, though. Like, I don't want this entire chat to just be, this entire stream, to be me coping about the Archcast, right? But there are some very dumb people that follow Arch. So I will cope about it a little bit. But I'll only cope about it because Dev is correct. Arch is a very good person. But yeah, there's like, oh my god, people saying like, this one comment, this is the last straw. I'm sick of Dev drama whoring and picking fights and then playing the victim when people throw shit back at him. I don't play the victim. I understand you guys don't like me. It's fine. It's one of those things where like, yeah, there's a lot of cope. The issue ultimately is that one, right wingers are just as snowflakey as left wingers. They're like, oh my god, this new idea is penetrating into our safe space. We have to fucking riot and complain. Happens all the time on Arch's chat. All the time. Here's the second situation though. A very common critique over on yesterday's Archcast. People saying, here we go. You think rich man bad, therefore communist? No, Dev. Is dead honest to God arguing that having problems with corporations automatically makes you left wing? Let me just see what other ones. It's very similar to this. You and your opponent recognize this as a problem. Gotcha. Nope, that's not what like. Dev, please, for the love of God, corporatism is socialism. Okay, this is the dumbest start of all, by the way. Like, dude, so many people are like they fall to Sitch's law. All right, so many people fall to Sitch's law. You guys know what Sitch's law is, real quick? Sitch's law is when you argue over definitions. So when people say socialism is fascism, fascism is socialism, capitalism is fascism, corporatism is socialism, corporatism is fascism, that's Sitch's law. You aren't actually debating anything. You're not arguing over anything substantive. You have labels that have moral weight, and you're shuffling them around in a fucking shell game, and you're hoping that you can attach one to the other to make your opponent look bad. That's all. That's it. There's no actual conversation happening here. JMac, thanks for the 20 gifted memberships, dude. I appreciate it. JMac, make sure you get into my new Discord server. I had to purge the old one. But thank you very much, dude. Those memberships will get you in to the Discord server if you got one. $20 from Taras Shevchenko. Thank you. Following on your statement on ideology, I think that the danger of attaching moral value to a label is everyone will try to claim the good ones for themselves and call everyone the bad ones. Some people trying to claim the right and left. Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? So, for example, left-wingers, they say corporatism is capitalism. And the reason they say that is because capitalism is a series of iterated games where you have winners and losers because you have people who are more successful in the market and people who are less successful. And as those wins and losses stack up, you get to a point where the losses, those people are just blown out of the market. They can't compete anymore because they hit zero. And then the winners, they can take over that extra market share and they can expand their business. And so things tilt towards a monopoly. And once you hit a monopoly, then you have all the problems of corporatism. So the left wing correctly points out that corporatism 100% is downstream from capitalism. However, the right wing also correctly points out that there's definitely a socialistic aspect to corporatism as well. Because after you do get to the point that everything is controlled by one entity, that's when that entity starts manipulating the market itself, right? Because now you get vertical integration. With vertical integration, that like let's say that you have like a grocery store, right? And the grocery store is competing with other grocery stores in the area. And basically, they compete, and then the grocery store that provides the best product for the lowest price, they win. Shittier grocery stores go out of business. The good ones, they start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. At some point, they can be like, well, the ANCAP will be like, great, this is how it should be. Let people compete, says the ANCAP. Well, guess what? Guess what actually happens in your ANCAPistan? Your most successful grocery store begins to become so successful they can engage in vertical integration. So the grocery store company now starts buying up trucking companies because they can. They have the extra capital to do so. So they buy trucking companies and they say, you know what? We don't need our trucking company that we now own to service our enemies. So now they're depriving a resource from their competition in the market. Right? So even though they are actually just winning at the capitalist game, they get to a point where they start micromanaging the whole economy as they engage in vertical integration. This is what Amazon did, right? Like Amazon has its own shippers, it has its own suppliers, it has its own manufacturing, it has its own warehouses. Vertical integration is a natural end result of capitalism. But it also looks a lot like socialism, which is why the left points at corporatism and calls it capitalism, and the right points at corporatism and calls it socialism, because they're both right. They're both correct to an extent, but playing the shell game of what label has moral weight attached to it doesn't actually discuss the real problem. All right, and that's the issue here. So when people are saying the comment on Arches on the Archcast, Dev, please, for the love of God, corporatism is socialism. This person has said nothing. They're not actually contributing to the conversation. And this is why I call Arch's fan base a bunch of retards. I think I missed a few super chats, but thank you very much. I'll scroll back up and get them right now. Where did they go? Hold on. Where are they? What? Hold on. Okay. $5 here into Lady Columbia. Thank you. I agree. Ideologies being only a specific field of philosophy, but never a whole. You know, I'm an objectivist, but my interests are beyond politics now. Thank you very much. Mergoot, thanks for joining the D Club. Good afternoon, Dev. Thank you. And JMac, Discord is gay. Thanks, man. Join it anyway. I'm here to Lady Columbia. $5. Thank you. Shouldn't all debate start with the use of definitions? Language needs to be objective and defining. If it's all detached and never hanging, it's useless. Yes, but everyone plays the language game, right? Everyone knows that certain labels have a moral weight attached to them, so they stretch them out and try to like rope them around their enemies, right? I have seen both the left and the right call each other fascist so much at this point. I'm just like, fuck off, guys. You've made the term fucking useless. Thank you, Garcia, for the $5 club membership. I've discovered a side of TikTok vids by black nationalists who believe every accomplishment is thanks to black people, even Mexican culture and music. Yeah, that's the Yakub shit. You see, Brian here. Brian, you're an example of the problem I'm talking about. Brian, you say monopolies are forced, Dev. No, they're not. The issue is that, actually, no, here. You know what? Now I'm making the same mistake, so I'll correct myself. Some monopolies can be forced by the state. Other monopolies are natural monopolies. All right. And this is why you have to reject ideology, all right? If you have an ideology that says monopolies are forced, you are now blind to all situations in which monopolies aren't forced, and vice versa. Bob, thanks for the €5. Ciro, to leave an ideal is to be willing to betray it. Darth Treya, right and left aren't as useful as their utility, in my opinion. Yeah. Doug, Devo's Law, every argument ends in a Giga Chad. Based. I'll probably will make a video on ideology at some point, yeah. Silver Camaro, $5. I'll cut my hair when I lose weight. I guess we're going to see Dave with an 80s rocker haircut. 500-pound fat with hair you can make a rug out of. Okay, so. And yeah, also, whenever these people talk about corporatism, they mean corporatocracy. Corporatism is a different fucking thing. But anyway, the point is, also another point. So actually, real quick. Show of hands in the chat, yes or no? Brian H says, I've learned to reject your bait and I'm not here to debate you. Brian, you're wrong though, and that's the point. Real quick though, chat, real quick. How many of you were in the Archcast yesterday, and how many of you disagreed with me? If yes to both of those, say yes. I'm the only one who can blindly follow beliefs. Based, Silver. Okay, hold on. So, yeah, LOL, you are doing the socialist analysis. So everyone here, everyone in Arch's comments, they're like raging impotently at the idea that I said all the right wingers in Arch's chat are doing a socialist analysis. Like this guy was even like, Scrump was right about you, Dev. Like Dev's marching leftwards. Like, okay, are you guys nuts? Yes. Okay, so for all of you guys who said yes, are you guys nuts? Here, hold on. Give me a moment here, okay? The coffee's flowing today, guys. It's pretty good. What? Okay. Is this it? Is this it? This? Okay. I'll just use this one. We'll just fucking deal with it. Okay. So. No co-host today. Just Dev. There's a difference between the socialist analysis and the analysis that opposes the WEF. So, Bill Skerner, the question is there actually? Let's think about it for a minute. Is there? $10 from Artemis. Thank you. Hey, Dev, you hear about the Canadian Supreme Court where if a company uses an AI chatbot as the online help, whatever it says is legally binding? Super mega based. It's actually funny, yeah. It does sound super mega based. Deb's correct about the golden era of the 90s. Yes. I remember my thoughts about my gaming hypothesis being posted on X. I mentioned Discord last night. I will look at it later. Zero fucks. I put it in my list of things to look at later for sure. No, Deb, we just noticed that you don't do any research whatsoever. We try to critique the right. Oh, is that true, Brock? Oh, is that true, Brock? Let's see. Let's see, guys. Do you want to actually examine that claim? I think I can examine it with you. Okay, so here. Let's So, what I said on the Archcast is that most of the right-wingers in Arch's audience use a socialist analysis when they're critiquing capitalism. They just do it with different words. They don't say bourgeoisie and proletariat and capital and expropriation and alienation. They don't use socialist words, but they use socialist ideas. And everyone in Arch's chat lost their fucking minds. They were shitting themselves with rage and, oh my god, Dev, how could you be this fucking retarded? All right, and I read all the comments. I know what's going on. I'll answer the super chats after this rant of mine, okay? But thank you for all the super chats, guys. But I will answer them in a minute. I want to rant this out first. So, I've seen the ranting and I've seen the ridiculousness. But the issue is, I'm correct about this, okay? When you're talking about when right-wingers are talking about the WEF and Klaus Schwab and BlackRock and Vanguard, all of these multinational capitalist organizations that are buying up land and buying up property and eroding the middle class and turning as many people as possible into landless, you will own nothing and you will eat the boogs and you will live in the pod and you will be happy and all you do is owe money, all you simply have rent extracted from you. And that's their vision of the future. You are making a socialist analysis of the situation. You're just not using socialist words because the socialists say the exact same things. And that's the issue that's going on here. Is the socialists say the exact same thing just with different words. Because when you are an eternal debtor or a rentoid and all you're doing is and the rich people over at BlackRock are extracting wealth out of you, the socialist says the same thing. That the bourgeois is extracting wealth from the proletariat. That you don't actually own things. I mean, they want the workers to own the means of production for a reason, right? So the issue is that yes, the right and the left, they are enemies. They're enemies, but they use the same analysis. By the way, you see here, Ian Novak says, "Oh, you want to improve conditions so much? You must be a socialist." No, I'll explain it to you. Listen, here. But what you're doing right now is you are attaching a negative moral weight to the word socialist. And you think that I'm insulting you when I say this. I'm not insulting you, all right? I want you to discard that negative moral weight, at least for this conversation, okay? Okay? Discard that moral weight. We are just going to talk about the ideas themselves, okay? Here. How many of you know James Burnham, all right? You probably do. If you're active in the right-wing political scene, you probably know James Burnham. Here, I'll bring him up, yeah. James Burnham, 1905 to 1987, American philosopher, political theorist. He was a prominent Trotskyist in the 1930s. He rejected Marxism and became an even more influential theorist of the political right as a leader of the American conservative movement. His most famous book is The Managerial Revolution, published in 1941. And it speculated on the future of capitalism. So, this guy was a communist in his youth. He became a conservative political theorist as he got older, but he used the communist frame in service of right-wing political theory, okay? And lots of people talk about this guy's work. He is probably one of the most influential modern American conservatives, okay? And the most famous book, here we go, The Managerial Revolution, okay? And I can't control F and search this because this is not like a PDF with like text in it. It has text in it, but it's image. It's not like actual computer text. So I have to scroll. But yeah, so he's in this book. He's describing all this stuff, and maybe we'll have to jump around a bit. Yeah. So the problem, the world we lived in, the theory of the permanence of capitalism, the theory of the proletarian socialist revolution. And then finally, the theory of the managerial revolution, page 68. That's where we'll go. Page 68. Where is it? Let's keep going a bit. Page 68, guys. We're doing a little bit of theory today. You have to live with it. Okay, yeah. The theory of the managerial revolution. Yeah. So for example, if you're going to read Burnham, you're going to realize he's a right winger for sure, but he's using a socialist analysis. Okay, so we are now in a period of social transition in the sense which has been explained, a period characterized, that is, by an unusually rapid rate of change of the most important economic, social, political, and cultural institutions of society. This transition is from the type of society which we have called capitalist or bourgeois to a type of society which we shall now call managerial. Right? And if you look, as you read this, he's using a Marxist mode of analysis, right? But he's theorizing a different class that will appear in the modern world in place of the bourgeois, right? And this is kind of important. Hold on. DevStar with a category error calling WDF and BlackRock as capitalists, which is intensely wrong. How is it not? Hold on. The WDF and BlackRock aren't capitalist? I mean, BlackRock is an investment firm, dude. It is quite literally capitalist. Again, I'm not applying morality to any of these terms right now. I'm simply describing them. All right? Anyway, basically, like if you read this, Burnham writes like a Marxist. How then it will be at once asked, and this is the key to the whole problem, if that the economic framework will the existence of a ruling class be possible? A ruling class, we have seen, means a group of persons who, by virtue of special socio-economic relations, exercises a special degree of control over access to the instruments of production and receives preferential treatment in the distribution of the products of these instruments. Capitalists were such a group, precisely because they, as individuals, held property rights in the instruments of production. If, in a managerial society, no individuals are to hold comparable property rights, how can any group of individuals constitute a ruling class? The answer is comparatively simple and as already noted, not without historical analogs. The managers will exercise their control over the instruments of production and gain preference in the distribution of the products, not directly through property rights vested in them as individuals, but indirectly through their control of the state, which in turn will own and control the instruments of production. The state, that is, the institutions which comprise the state, will, if we wish to put it that way, be the property of the managers. And that will be quite enough to place them in the position of the ruling class. So, he's a right-winger using a Marxist lens of analysis to analyze the current situation and establish how the managerial revolution will come. And it basically did come, because the idea is that the old Marxist frame was that you have the proletariat, who are workers who don't own things, and the bourgeois, who are owners who don't work things. And Burnham said, no. This class conflict will basically be solved by automation and by the mechanization of the economy. But then a new class conflict will arise, because there will be a class of people who do not own the means of production, but they control the produce of the means of production through regulation. And that's basically what happened. And Burnham was right. So what's basically happening here, guys, is that Burnham, he's writing in response to Marx, and he's using the Marxist lens, but he's a right-winger. Okay? And this is a socialist analysis, but in favor of a more conservative outlook. Okay? Hold on. Bruce Nee says he's using a class analysis. Not every class analysis is a Marxist analysis. He's talking about the bourgeois and the proletariat, dude. And the fact that he had a history as a Trotskyist. Yes, he was a socialist, and he moved away from socialism, but he uses socialism's tools to basically describe how the economy has moved past the need for socialism and what new issues we faced in the 20th century. All right? So, the reason that I'm bringing all of this up regarding the managerial revolution and James Burnham is that when I say, I'll just take this away now. When I say, guys, that the right is using the same mode of analysis as the socialists. I'm correct. Because pretty much all modern libertarian philosophy comes out of James Burnham, all right? At least in terms of its economic analysis. So people are, frankly, in the Archcast comments, they're coping and seething and just screaming because they've attached a negative moral weight to the label of socialist. And they're going, I can't be that. Oh my God, Dev. But if we're going to strip it from morality and just talk about the facts, I'm correct. And I'm still correct, all right? And frankly, if you think I'm not correct, you're coping and seething. So that's how it is. Yeah, see, here's the thing. Yeah, Brent Lolacher says the problem is the state, not the market. No, too simple. All right, too simple. Strip the ideology out of your brain. All right, strip the ideology out of your brain. The problem can be the state, and the problem can be the market. It depends specifically what we're talking about. Okay. Okay. You guys must be smarter. You must expand your brains more. And listen, if you feel like you're insulted, it's probably because there's some truth there, and you need to put aside your emotions and seriously think about it. Now then, let me see the super chats that I missed, okay? And thank you for all of them, by the way. Let's see here. How back? Okay. Artemis Fowl, $5. Are you arbitrarily labeling conservatives right wing and then pointing towards the objections as proof of the label being accurately applied? No, there's definitely more. No, I don't know what you mean by that. I'm not doing that. There's more different types of right wingers than just conservatives, obviously. Just so happens, $5. Love YouTube giving me a notification for this 18 minutes late. The only march Dev is doing is the march GigaChad words. Based. GigaChad pilled. Yes. Adherent of Lady Columbia, $20. The problem is that there needs to be philosophy for nations. Pragmatism is turn of the moment, valueless, and so morally empty. It's what brought us here. One thing so many seem afraid of is taking a hit to stand for values. I partially agree with you. The issue ultimately is that, like, your values should guide you, but you also need to be pragmatic, right? Because if all you do is rigidly adhere to your morality, that's when you become ideological, right? That is Lenin. That is Lenin, destroying Russia because he's marching towards what he views as to be the moral utopia, right? However, if you are only pragmatic and you value no morality at all, and you simply do, and your pragmatism has no morality like guiding it, that's when you get to the whole Vosh, everything is simply power kind of position, right? Zero for £2, thank you. 2000 with the golden era. No, you're wrong. Dr. Diddler for $2. Lefties and righties are powerless to the base centrists. Yes, absolutely. Starhawks for $5. It seems that Arch agrees with you more often than not, but is afraid to alienate his audience by explicitly doing so. Thank you for the donation, dude. Lives in Dev's walls specifically for $5. If one guying Dev is going to be a regular sport, I might just organize it formally. You make a fantasy league. Everyone interested? Okay. Artemis Fowl, $20. Dev, remember I linked you to the FDA's authorities and you proceeded to not read it, but assumed that you knew it and didn't have the powers it did, and when showing something what we expect them to do? No, Artemis, I don't remember that. In fact, I have a feeling that you're probably misrepresenting that interaction because you do this sometimes. But thank you for the $20, Artemis. Charles Anderson, $10. The only thing I disagreed with is that while Matt Walsh doesn't like anime, when you called anime satanic, he was joking / trolling. You and Arch seem to take it literally. I don't think he was joking, Charles. To be honest, I don't think he was. Adherent to Lady Columbia, $5. In economics, I believe this is called regulatory capture. I think so too, actually. Let me just really quickly brush up. I don't remember exactly what that term means. Regulatory capture refers to the actions by interest groups when this is successful. Okay, hold on. Wait. In politics, regulatory capture, also called agency capture, is a form of corruption of authority that occurs when a political entity, policymaker, or regulator is co-opted to serve the commercial, ideological, or political interests of a minor constituency, such as a political geographic area, industry, profession, or ideological group. When regulatory capture occurs, a special interest is prioritized over the general interest of the public, leading to a net loss for society. The theory of client politics is related to that of rent-seeking political failure. Okay. So basically, small interest group controls the entire political body, the entire political apparatus, disproportionate to its relative size to the disproportionately controlling it relative to its size. Okay. Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah. Okay. Cryomancer Lex for 100 Mexicans. Thanks, man. Your main obstacle is getting through to people is your insistence on giga chatting your positions. We're human, you will need people skills to convince us. Otherwise, what's the point in being right? I have no people skills. But thank you very much, Cryomancer Lex. And by the way, I do appreciate all the work that you've done recently for me. So hold on. So wait, Brock Sampson just says, Dev, you're lying. What are you fucking doing here, dude? Like, what are you fucking doing here? So, Dev, we just noticed that you don't do any research whatsoever when you try to create the right. Like, what do you fucking mean? What do you mean, dude? I just gave you a fucking book to read. Dev, you're just lying and can't admit when you're wrong. You do that every time Artemis hits you on a point you can't answer. No. Like, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Here. Like 10 minutes ago, Brian said in the chat that monopolies are caused by governments. And I immediately said monopolies aren't caused by governments. And then I immediately walked back and I said, no, I'm being too hasty. I was wrong when I said that. Here's what I actually mean. And then I gave the more nuanced take rather than just reaction. All right. So no, I am fine to admit when I'm wrong. I'm fine to admit when I'm wrong. It's just that you guys never bring me there. You guys never, like, this is the issue, okay? This is the issue, Brock. And also, if you think that I'm lying, okay, then why are you here? You know, it's one thing to think that I'm ignorant. And that, because if I'm ignorant, you can then present other counter arguments and I can be convinced, or I can show my ass and then my audience gets convinced, right? But if you think I will give you the question that Count Dankula gave to Vosh. If you think I'm just lying, then why are we speaking? Because the precondition for speaking is at least a basic assumption that we're both going to believe what we're saying to each other, because we're trying to actually find the truth in between our two positions in good faith. But if you think I'm just lying, then what the fuck are you doing here? Because like here, Brent. Let's say that you are Vosh, right? And you think I'm a fascist, and I'll be like, I'm not a fascist, and you'll just say, well, you're lying. It's like, well, I don't believe in these various fascist tenets. And you go, well, you're lying about that. It's like, well, why the fuck are we talking then? Get the fuck out of here. All right. Sean King, $5. I check out what Uzalu has been up to, and I see that he has Dev derangement syndrome, more so than the guys in the chat. Oh, he definitely does. But I'm not going to get into that. Dev, can you show me a monopoly that was created not due to the state? And how long did it last? Okay, what were they named? The fucking railway guys. That, like, was it Teddy Roosevelt had to like bust them up? What was that? Hold on. What were they called again? Not just them either. I mean, like, here's the thing, a lot of tech is monopoly too. You know, like Microsoft kind of had to be antitrust broken up, you know. The whole point of the ultimate flaw with you know, a capitalist market system is once you have actors that are so successful and they can start vertically integrating themselves into other markets, that's when you start to get monopolies that are really hard to break out. All right. And that is the big issue ultimately. It's like, well, if you're not just supplying a product to the public, but you've also become so successful that now you're buying out transportation companies so that only your company gets supplied with transportation, or you're buying out suppliers of a product so that all of your competitors can't even get the product or even get like raw materials anymore. Like, This idea that it's all government is ridiculous. All right, like here, 99% of people who talk about economics are way too simplistic in their analysis. Right? The socialist says, "Oh my god, dude, it's all the big fat cat capitalists." Too simplistic. Libertarians say, "Oh, it's all the state." Too simplistic. Too simple. Unavailable says, Dev can never admit when he fucked up or is wrong in the slightest. I just did, dude. I just fucking did it on the stream. £5 from Ciro. Dev, can we stop saying Dev is lying? He's right or wrong. He's clearly being earnest. He honestly thinks the time of KOTOR and Deus Ex is not golden. Of course it's not. No, man. Listen. Super Nintendo, N64, PS1. That's the golden. That's the golden. I'm not rolling every chatter into a single hive mind, Zero fucks. I understand that you're all different. €5. You're right. It is socialist analysis. The point is, it is irrelevant whether it's socialist analysis or art or not. Arch was right. It's Hitler water. Hold on. It actually is relevant that it's socialist analysis, okay? And I'll tell you why, okay? Here's the thing, guys. I'm going to cry, says Jess. Why are you crying, Jess? Okay, listen. Listen, guys. Listen, okay? I want you guys to listen. Listen very, very closely. If the socialists are right about something, you should be a socialist on that issue specifically. If the libertarians are right about something, you should be a libertarian on that issue. If the fascists are right about something, you should be a fascist on that issue, okay? You should go where truth leads you and not worry about ideology, like I said at the start. Just discard ideology from your brain, okay? So, it is important when the right uses a socialist analysis. And the reason it's important is because right-wingers, they tend to just hate socialism irrationally. And, fair enough, right? There's a lot of bad things about socialism. But nonetheless, if there are good tools in the socialist toolkit, you should know them, you should train with them, and you should use them. Because the socialist prescriptions are bad, but some of the tools in the socialist toolkit are good, and you should have them in your toolkit as well. All right? Bash Dead Doggy, that isn't how it fucking works. Yes, it is. That is how it works. That is exactly how it works. Is it true that monopolies are sometimes good? Yes, actually. There are some things that should actually be monopolies, just like regulated monopolies, right? So, for example, you don't want like every fucking person in society to have like their own fucking, water line, right? You want one basic water line running underneath the road that then serves all the houses, all right? You don't want to individualize everything. Some things are actually better when they're collective. And if they are things that everyone needs, then there's probably a strong argument that should be basically some basic level of equal access should be guaranteed by a government. So, like, as long as you're paying your water bill, there should be a water pipe that goes to your house and supplies your house with water. Or a power line that goes to your house and supplies your house with electricity, right? These sorts of things, there probably just should be some level of equal access, same price for everyone. Everyone gets access to it. No, Dev, my McNukes. I'm not an ANCAP, dude. Yeah, utility companies are a big one. Yeah. Dev, what are your favorite foods to make? Or are you one of those fat guys who says, I can't cook? Also, how do I get out of the sewer now, says Rana. Are you in the sewer, Rana? Here, Rana. Who are you in the sewer? Post in the sewer right now in Discord and I'll get you out. Post. I'm looking at the sewer right now. Post. As for what I cook, I make a lot of Chinese food. I dated a Chinese girl in university, and she taught me to cook. Like I knew basic cooking before that, but like she taught me a bunch of dishes. So I'm like, so I just started learning how to cook Chinese food because I knew what to do. And so I dated her for like 6 years or something. So I was always cooking up Chinese stuff. And even though I haven't dated her in over 10 years, I still cook it because it's easy. And it's what I know now. There we go. Rana. There you are. Hey, buddy. I'll put you in. Just be chill, okay? Here, who else is looking here too? Let's see. I'm gonna see who's around. Lots of people just saying hi, Dev, in the sewers now. Hey. Yeah. Anyone who looks chill, I'll bring you into the server, okay? Let's see who else is here. Let's go back down to the bottom. To be clear, Dev, says Artemis for $10, the business is corrupting the social fabric isn't a socialist lens, it's a conservative one, and even a Christian moralist one, not socialist as it was done long before socialism. Artemis, did you read the Communist Manifesto? Because to be honest, Marx makes the same case. Marx says that old conservatism was destroyed by capitalism, and that communism is the only thing that can bring back that conservative society. And that was actually very interesting to see personally. You know what I mean? People are saying I'm chill in the server, so I guess I'll do it. I'm just giving everyone's things a quick look over, and I'll add them in if they're good. I'm trying not to add retards, but most people actually aren't retards. There's only a few of them that are, you know? I just want the porn roll back. All right, I'll give you your fucking porn roll, you fucking coomer. Hold on. I'll give you your fucking porn roll. There you go. I just Jomo watching the stream. Hey there, new person. What's up? Okay, I'm not looking at Discord anymore. Discord's gone. Tara Shavenko, $20. Thank you very much. An argument that I will call the reason argument from the publication says that when firms become monopolies, they lose the market feedback that allows them to remain competitive and eventually collapse due to this. Yes. And that's actually a big problem, right? Because market feedback is what keeps markets working. You know, if you put out a product and there's alternatives to your product, and then you change your product, and then people start buying from someone else, that's feedback. You'll see in your sales, like, oh my God, look at our sales. The sales numbers gone down. We're making less money. We did something, and it made people angry at us. And so now they're not buying our product. You know, market feedback is an important mechanism. And socialism removes the market feedback mechanism, but so do monopolies, right? And it doesn't matter whether the monopoly is a natural monopoly or it's like a state mandated monopoly. It doesn't matter, right? If your operation is made essential by government fiat, you no longer have to worry about market feedback. So you basically that is where you get like the socialistic, government corruption kind of thing. But also, if your operation is so successful, you don't have to worry about market feedback anymore. Because you're just like rich beyond belief, and you've like absorbed all of your competitors, and you're the only one supplying a product, and like anytime like a small company shows up to a small upstart company shows up, you just like squash them out of existence because you can lower your prices so low temporarily just to like drive them out of business. Once you're in that sort of position as a monopoly, you also become immune to market feedback, and that can happen without government intervention at all. It's one of those things where like you need to have all of these different ideologies kind of tucked away in the back of your brain so that you can pull them out and use them as you need them. You need their tools, you need their lenses, but you should not be devoted to one of them. Oh man, coffee is almost cold. Hold on. I'm trying to get all the super chats. Sorry, guys. Read the Malicious Maleficarum for $5. It's a wild ride, but also good insight into radicalization. Love your videos. Get the good work. Thank you. I will look it up. Thanks, dude. I will look it up. Velazari, $5. I will donate $5 more if you can actually pronounce Taras Shevchenko correctly. Is it Shevchenko? Okay. Hey, just out of curiosity, was it Swift Sword or Safety Zoom who sent me the package of possible merch like a few years back? I forget which one of you two it was. I'm sorry. Is love if the right started to talk about deregulation, lower taxes, private schools, immigration, more methods to regulate the state, but no, now the right just has no solid principles, just vibes. I wouldn't go that far, Lady Columbia, but thank you for the $10. I wouldn't go that far. Yeah, like right wingers like we want the state smaller, make the border bigger though, even though the border is part of the state. It's like, well, very clearly, even you understand that some things in the state need to be big and some things in the state need to be small. It's just how it is. My chat censors words. YouTube does that. Just how YouTube is. Most people who talk economics don't have an economics degree. Well, neither do I. I have like intro to econ from 20 years ago. That was you, Safety Zoom. Okay. Hold on a second, Safety Zoom. Here, I'll DM you something, Safety Zoom. Give me a second. Want me to send you some fresh oysters from BC? Dude. You're not going to make it here. Anyway, listen. Dev, are you trolling people? You could have picked any ideology for rich equals bad, but you picked socialism. It is the most famous one for rich equals bad. That's kind of the point. It's the most famous one. Okay. Jesus. Shall we continue on? I know you guys have heard me rant this whole time, but shall we continue on? Do you guys want to see some of the things that I have collected? Dev didn't see. What? Did I miss a super chat? Hold on. God damn it, guys. Let me see. Also, I think I'm choking on coffee. I did not miss your super chat, Nova. I checked like twice. I didn't see any super chat. Okay, I'll check again. If I check once more and I still don't see it, I'm moving on. I'm going to scroll. Oh, Nova, you said once a commie, always a commie. Okay, dude. Fuck you. There's a ch sound you're missing in the pronunciation. There was an election in Russia. What do you think the overlap in people who say that was fair and secure in the U.S. wasn't also vice versa? Honestly, there's probably some decent overlap. Here's the thing. I'm kind of one of them, right? It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, America isn't Russia, okay? The culture is different. The institutions are different. The values are different. The whole, like, they're all governments, therefore they're all the same thing. It's such a dumb analysis. Nikolai, thanks for the $5. Dev, should we give everyone's house for free? If not, what is your best method for arguing against someone who believes we should? If so, why? Well, the answer against that sort of thing is always kind of the same. The answer is always like, stuff requires labor to make. People who do the labor have to be paid. Therefore, when you buy the stuff, you're paying for their labor. So why is it that you think you deserve someone else's labor for free, right? That is like the intro argument as to we should decommodify housing, we should decommodify healthcare, we should decommodify food. It's like, well, no. They're commodities because someone has to work to create them, and those people must be paid. You know, the farmer needs to be paid for his labor, or else he's not going to farm. That is always the downfall of every socialist system, is that the minute that people just start taking things for free, the creators of those things stop creating them because there's no money in it anymore. Another 1 hour sip of Dev arguing with schizos. Okay. Let's go. Okay. Let's go, friends. Let's go. Give me a moment. God damn it. Give me a second. Give me just a second, okay? But the arguing with schizos is fun. Just wait. Hold on. Now I gotta send Sargon a funny message. Something just happened. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Colombia, $5. Thank you. One reason there's a housing shortage is because after 08, contractors abandoned that market and many retired, and then we have a blue collar shortage. That's probably part of it. Yeah, blue collar shortage. Yeah. There's definitely a blue collar shortage, which means that they got to pay more to get more people into blue collar work. And if they're paying more, that means that the price of the houses are going to go up. If the price of the houses are going up, that still doesn't solve the problem of actually getting people to buy the houses, because now you have boomers who are holding on to their houses as their fucking investment vehicle, which was never the intention before. So now you have like a bunch of houses being built and no one's able to actually afford to live in them. You know, that's a market failure, by the way. And then BlackRock and Vanguard bought up all the houses and turned them into rent houses. Only kind of. It's like I've always been saying, right? These conversations are always more complicated than they appear on the outside, right? So, for example, when you're sitting here talking about, you know, BlackRock and Vanguard being the evil capitalist bourgeois destroying the market, and or, you know, Satan himself come down to destroy the market, whatever. What the fuck? Would you get... I hate websites. I hate them. One thing you realize is that these places... One thing you realize is that these places, these companies, they don't just... They can't simply exist in perpetuity without anything, right? Oh, so... I'll just quickly pull this up. Yeah. Like, this happened a few months ago. A whole bunch of... Vanguard Funds lost more than $3 billion from failures. Like, these companies, they're big, but they're also not immune to market failure, right? Now, they can absorb a hit like $3 billion for sure. But if they can't keep making moves that like just destroy everything and bring them no profit, or else they will collapse. What's nice is that Dev is recording the chat on his stream, so it's easy to see what's censored. Yeah, it is nice that happens. Also, I'm going to have to do probably a dive into BlackRock and Vanguard at some point. Because I do actually think that when it comes to BlackRock and Vanguard, the right wing is more correct than the left wing is on the topic. They've got a few problems with their analysis, but the leftoids are like fucking unhinged when it comes to these things. Yeah, BlackRock, Citadel, Vanguard, etc. owns a collective 33% of single-family homes. They did this by paying 20% over the listed price and turned them into rentals, pricing out the normal home buyers. Yes. So the question then becomes, Artemis, if you're the kind of guy who wants to slap a label on it and blame ideology, is that a problem with capitalism or is it a problem with socialism? I don't want to have that conversation because it's fucking stupid. And the people who have that conversation are also fucking stupid, right? Because a lefty is going to be like, well, they're obviously investment companies and they're obviously the bourgeois and they're obviously out here buying everything with all this money and they're pricing out normal people and turning regular people into fucking proletarian rentoids. And it's like, okay, well, fair enough. And then the right-wing analysis is going to be, well, clearly these people are empowered by the state. And it's the same fucking bullet. Like, I don't even need to talk to anyone who actually thinks these things. I know their ideologies. I know they're pre-programmed. So I just know, I know what you're going to fucking say. So it's just like, it's less important. If you want to argue over whether it's capitalist or socialist or corporatist or fascist or whatever the fuck, I don't care. What matters is it good or bad? Right? And the answer is obvious. It's bad. Give me a second. I'm going to grab water because there we go. Because I ran out of coffee. Guys, you're wrong about the thing you thought your country, and you all learned about. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about here. I'm fat based. Man. These invested firms are owned by the same people that sit on the board of the Federal Reserve. They just so happen to get interest-free loans as well. So it's more similar to socialism or fascism. Wrong, Artemis. And in fact, you're provably wrong, and I can prove it to you. Hold on. These investment firms are not actually, at least not exclusively owned by people who sit on the board of the Federal Reserve. And I'll show you how. Example 1. Because I want to actually get onto the fucking situation here, okay? This is one thing where Artemis is actually just wrong, okay? Okay. Here we go. So, turns out, I'll do one example. I'll do only one example because I don't have time for everything else. Okay. So, Artemis says these investment firms are owned by the same people that sit on the board of the Federal Reserve. No, they are not. That is just, you're just wrong about that, Artemis. I don't think you're lying. I think you just don't know. Okay. So, it's very easy to discover the Vanguard Group. Their owners are their clients. All of these big investor groups are client-owned, which means that if you have some money and you give it to Vanguard, and Vanguard invests it in various stocks, or whatever the fuck they do with it, you are now a part owner of Vanguard. The owner of Vanguard are the clients of Vanguard, okay? On Vanguard's website, our senior management team, in concert with Vanguard's board of directors, ensures that Vanguard is operated solely in the best interests of its investor owners. If you invest with Vanguard, you are an owner of Vanguard. They are jointly responsible for stewarding the assets entrusted to Vanguard by more than 50 million clients. So, the 50 million people that have money invested by Vanguard, those are the owners of Vanguard. Okay? 50 million people. So it's not it's not, as Artemis said, the same people that sit on the board of the Federal Reserve. No, the owners of Vanguard are 50 million people, and most of these people, by the way, are like middle class people. Most of these people are people who like they get some kind of 401k from their job, right? And the 401k, the funds for the 401k is managed by Vanguard because that's how they get the money for the 401k, right? Or it's like some boomer who's like investing his stocks or like investing a little bit of spare money that he has, right? The primary owners of Vanguard are like just random middle class people who are investing stuff. And that's the situation. Which is, by the way, one of the big reasons that this problem is so intractable is because, unlike in a Marxist analysis, there is no bourgeois to attack here. There is no evil capitalist who like Mr. Monopoly Man, Scrooge McDuck swimming around in a vault full of money. That doesn't exist anymore. Not really. How Money Works has a good video about BlackRock. Oh, I have to look at it, I guess. My response on housing is subprime crash left U.S. with plus 5 million surplus homes, making building homes not valuable. Add labor shortage. We just have to deal with it. Gen Z doesn't do physical work. Yeah, that sounds about right, Columbia, for $10. Thank you. Dear Dev, please stop whining about feeling old. Sincerely, Gen X. Fair enough, dude. Okay. Artemis Fowles, $5 says, show me where exclusively came up in my statement. There is clear incentive to bias actions taken by those who do. Okay, so Artemis, we can go over it again. Let's go over it yet again. Artemis says, these investment firms are owned by the same people that sit on the board of the Federal Reserve. The only reason that you would make this statement is even if you're like, okay, well, they're not exclusively owned by the people who sit on the Federal Reserve. Okay, but the only reason you'd make this statement is to link together the ownership and the Federal Reserve. It does not matter if some Federal Reserve like hoo-ha owns 0.001% of Vanguard, because they don't control. Because they don't control what Vanguard does at that point. So, the fact that Vanguard is client-owned means that the fact that some people who sit on the Federal Reserve also own some shares in Vanguard, it doesn't matter, right? It just doesn't matter. Because there are many people who don't, and they also own partially own Vanguard, right? Yeah. Vanguard set out in 1975 under a radical ownership structure that remains unique in the asset management company industry. Our company is owned by its member funds, which in turn are owned by fund shareholders. With no outside owners to satisfy, we focus squarely on meeting the investment needs of our clients. Okay? And that's what's going on here. Because there are no outside owners. That's key. God, super chats, there's so many. I appreciate it, guys, but I gotta get started. Silver Camaro, $5. They don't buy the homes at above market values because they don't want people buying homes as a WF conspiracy, is because it drives similar properties they own up. Yeah, if you can hold homes, then the price goes up because demand, they're artificially constricting demand. Yeah, or supply. Sorry. Nicholas Thompson, $10. Thank you. If you're ever doing a dive into the tyranny of majority, Staten Island is a good case study. 3 seats in the NYC City Council, relatively conservative island versus heavy lib city. We get shortchanged often. Fair enough. Thanks very much for the $10, dude. Artemis Fowl, $5. I have the same issue with government politicians owning stakes in companies that their committees regulate, Dev. It's called being principled. Artemis, you haven't even outlined a problem here yet, right? You just haven't outlined a problem here, and this is kind of what I'm getting at, Artemis, is that you can say, oh man, some people in the Federal Reserve, they partially own Vanguard. What does that mean? Well, it means that they have stocks that Vanguard manages for them. Okay, well, how much do they own? Well, there's 50 million clients. You know what I mean? Like, I understand your point, but you drew the connection because you were implying that Vanguard and the Federal Reserve having like similar, or like Federal Reserve people having some ownership of Vanguard. The implication there is that Vanguard was being controlled for the sake of the Federal Reserve, or whatever, right? There's the issue is that there's something bad happening there, and you haven't proven that, and I don't think you can. Zatak says, Dev, if you hire someone to manage your stock portfolio, even though you technically own it, the person managing your funds controls that power. That is true, Zatak. And you know where that analysis first comes from? The Managerial Revolution, James Burnham, which we just started the stream with, right? Which is, by the way, a post-Marxist point of view. So, I mean, Zatak, I know that you're not left-wing, but there is this Burnham lens that you are now using, that has been handed down to you through people who've been writing in the socialist tradition, which is the point that I made at the start of the video. Yeah, Brian H says exactly Zatak. Yes, you're proving my point, guys. You're proving my point. I refer you back to interest-free loans. Okay. Now, can you prove that they were made because of that? Like, Artemis, you now must prove that there was a problem with the interest-free loans, and that they were made based on the fact that there were some people in the Federal Reserve who also have allowed Vanguard to use their stocks so they can become owners. Like, can you prove this? Holy heck! Just have Artemis on. But I like the donos. But I like the donos, guys. Okay. Alien Zone Vanguard. Okay. Let's go. Let's go, guys. There is left-wing fascism. There also is right-wing socialism. Yes. Reboot the Tubcast with Artemis. Okay. You know what? Enough nonsense. Let's get to it. And thank you for joining the D Club, Stug. Talk about something less contentious, like whatever that drama between you and that VTuber lady is. I'm sure nobody will get mad about it. Artemis for $5. Also, chat, don't let Dev mislead you here. He is distracting Vanguard when BlackRock is the key here. He is trying to strawman the conversation. Do you want to go into who owns BlackRock, Artemis? Okay, oh my god. Let's not fucking do this. Let's not fucking do this, okay? Okay, you're going to find out, by the way, Artemis, that a giant swath of BlackRock is actually also owned by Vanguard. So, don't. Here, let's get to it. No more nonsense, no more dicking around. Let's go. Here is the P.O. box, as always. Toss me whatever boxes you want to toss me. This P.O. box closes on July 1st. All right? It closes on July 1st. So, if you want to mail things, get your mailing in. We're probably going to be moving before July 1st, but that is when the P.O. box closes. So, if you want to send stuff, send it over. And by the way, I appreciate all of the donations today, guys. Oh, Bruce Nee also donated. Will you play my favorite socialist game, Final Fantasy VII, this week? I hope so. And Fuzzy donated too. And Fallen Syndicate resubbed over on Twitch. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for all the support today, guys. You guys are great. Hold on. Artemis says he is just ignoring the stuff I am sending him to make the conversation appear one-sided. Artemis, there is a finite amount of attention and time that I have. Artemis, do you want me to sit here and ignore everything else and simply go over every single thing that you've said and nothing else, and just do that until the entire conversation is exhausted and it's been 18 hours? Is that what you want? Yes, he does. I'm not going to do that. So no, I'm not ignoring it, Artemis. We are out of time. I've spent an hour and 15 minutes on this nonsense. Let's get going. Then why are you addressing it without seeing it? Because I've been sent super chats, Brian. Also, Brian, I appreciate you. Artist's like, yes. Yes, Giga Chat. Waiting for my Chinese food. Nice. Nice, kiddos. Also, Brian, I appreciate you using your right-wing socialist analysis. Dev, break up with Naomi and marry Artemis. Okay. Hold on. Dup. Shall we get going? Let's go, kiddos. Let's go. First things first, let's talk about the unknown. Now, maybe you think I'm talking about this unknown from the Willy Wonka nonsense that happened a week or two ago. Just to quickly refresh your memory.
What is that? It's the unknown.
It's the unknown. No, I am not talking about this unknown. Unfortunately. Though this was a lot of fun. Did you guys know that there's actually another meme of the unknown? Oh yeah, those of you who didn't know. Those of you who didn't know, by the way. Yeah. So there was go watch my video on it. There's the fake Willy Wonka experience. Yep. The fake Willy Wonka experience with a villain called the Unknown, an evil chocolate maker who lives in the walls, and terrible actors. Once more.
What is that? It's the unknown.
What is that, guys? It's the unknown. Oh my god. Well, we are not talking about this unknown. Not today. A different unknown. $5 from Sean King. I started sculpting a miniature. I want to send you for the P.O. Box closest. Thanks very much, man. We will open a new P.O. Box when we move, though, so don't worry about that. But thank you. So, have you guys heard about the other unknown? I've got the Know Your Meme page up, so we can actually go over it a little bit. But yeah, there's a character in Dead by Daylight called the Unknown, okay? And here it is. It has no gender, as it's an inhuman entity that adapts its appearance as needed. And it has like a weird, strange, elongated neck and a very creepy face. There it is. Yep. And this is the Unknown. Well, a trans woman named Zoe Alexandria voiced the Unknown in Dead by Daylight, which is kind of become a controversy, and maybe I can show you why it's become a controversy. Okay, so the Dead by Daylight. This is from Pink News. Dead by Daylight developer accused of transphobia by the trans voice actor who says that she was tricked. So, people have criticized the cheerleader character skin for perpetuating negative trans stereotypes, including the voice actor who is a trans woman. So, you have... So, we want representation. No, not like that. So yeah, new Dead by Daylight killer is a deformed freak in a skirt, voiced by a trans voice actor. Also, a zombie that died by hanging, which is why the neck is elongated. What in the ever-living heck did the devs mean by this? This got 4.4 million views. And so here's... Basically, this took off, all right? And people started making fun of them. And also, Leftoids jumped in. And Leftoids jumped in and started saying shit like, "This is transphobic. Is this what you think trans women are?" So, yeah. Zoe Alexandria, the voice actress, the trans voice actress who did the voice, after this blew up, had this to say about it, and they posted this on their Twitter account. Regarding my recent viral witch hanging, I voiced the character, the Unknown, in Dead by Daylight. At the time of voicing, it was a great experience. I was told at the time I was voicing the character and that there was no model and that the character was supposed to be amorphous. They had no model design before I recorded my lines. So it's my assumption that the design it's my assumption that the design team took my medical history and my ability to use multiple voices as an opportunity to create character models that encapsulate my medical history as trans and capitalize on catering to the transphobic community. I was tricked into voicing a stereotype. Since yesterday, I have been virally harassed for being trans by thousands of people. Hold on. Now, gotta be honest. When I look at this, I don't see a trans woman. If you do, to the point that you think this is a stereotype, the problem might be you. Because I don't see this as a trans person. All right. But okay. Many folks in the trans community are up in arms over this, and rightfully so. I feel that reparations from the team that deliberately tricked me is the only logical next choice of action. I am so upset, so infuriated that people are comparing trans people to these clearly transphobic character skins. If I had any idea of the fallout that would have happened after simply voicing a character, I never would have in the first place. Now listen, reparations. Trans reparations, really? So, hold on. You voice a character in a horror game where the enemies, because it's a horror game, they're all kind of grotesque and weird. And because it went viral in a community you don't like, you think that you are deserved reparations from the developer. I mean, you already got paid for your fucking work, lady. You already did the voice. Like, this just really sounds like, pay me more money. Pay me more money. Just give me money. It's a fucking grift, guys. Let me personally apologize to anybody who has been a victim of transphobia due to this release. Please know that you are loved and you're valid. As for me, I am not okay. This has ruined my reputation, has put me physically at risk for being attacked in public if anybody recognizes my face or voice. There was no diversity consultants on this project. Bring in Sweet Baby Inc. The company knew that making a stereotypical man in a dress as a character and having a trans voice actress voice it would bring lots of money and people back to the game. I'm not dumb. I know how marketing works. This seems to be a huge ploy, and the trans community, along with myself, were the victims. You were the victims for doing a fucking voice and having it go viral. Okay, dude. Okay. And the worst part is like, this chick, she's not even like one of the Gigahons. You know what I mean? Like, here, is this it? No, that's Ricky Berwick's. Here she is. Like, she passes. She's not she's not like a man in a dress with a beard. She passes. Okay? You see? You're like, I found out today whoever this person is, I don't know who this person is, but I just wanted to find these. I found out today that someone I knew in high school voiced the unknown. I mean, that's cool. The unknown is voiced by Zoe Alexandria. Like, she passes, dude. Yeah. She scrubbed clean her YouTube channel because, okay, these are like, she does like voice feminization lessons, but like, yeah, like, this is not like some ugly dude with a beard and a dress, guys. Like, she looks pretty feminine. Can I get close to the picture? Like, just so you guys can see? Like, she looks pretty feminine. Is there a voice clip of the unknown? Yeah, I think there is. So basically, the point is that this just seems to be just like a lot of insecurity on her part. Which, to be fair, lots of trans women, even the most passing trans women, like Taftaj, for example, have a lot of insecurity about how well do they actually pass. But like, a lot of this is like, oh no, but you know you pass, so it's fine. It's basically like you don't like shit. Okay, here. You know what? If you guys are out here saying, Dev, she doesn't pass. I can see right through it. My gaydar is going off. She does not look like this. All right. There's a huge fucking gulf. Hold on. A huge gulf between whatever the fuck this is and this person. Obviously, guys. Like, calm the fuck down, okay? You know what? See if I can actually like find more of her. We're gonna do a transvestigation, fellas. It's time. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. We're transvestigating everyone. Yeah. Like, this is not some grotesque individual. They just seem to be like a regular person, you know? Just a YouTube thumbnail of a video that's been deleted, but... You know what I mean? The Dev has spent so long on the internet and playing Nintendo games. I live with Naomi, guys. Digging up dead names. It's time for the transvestigation. But no, basically, like... You know, this person... just a normal-ass person, dude. So, I don't really get the whole insecurity about it. I mean... I would. Obviously. So anyway... Okay, let's see. Here's Zoe's next post. There have been a recent... Dev likes what he sees. Yes. Okay. Hold on. There have been here's the next... Okay, hold on. Later that day, Alexandria made a follow-up post on X clarifying her original statement, writing, I wasn't kept in the loop with the final characters. Okay. This is why I was upset. The skins themselves were never the issue, the lack of communication was. She discouraged people from participating in boycotting behavior and said they are not transphobic. So she actually turned around. So Zoe Alexandria, despite what she wrote in this post, turned around and said, stop boycotting the company. They're not transphobic. I take back what I said. Because I guess she didn't want to be fucking sued. Okay. So, let's see if we can open this one up too. There's been a recent misunderstanding. Anybody that thinks that the skins are going away is not in the loop. Behavior is allegedly aware of the mass transphobic remarks and memes being made, and the gaming community is not a reflection of the game developers. I wasn't kept in the loop with what the characters would look like. I was given an ambiguous design description for the part. Even though I tried my best to find out more, I was continually asking for more info. That wasn't possible. This is why I was upset. The skins themselves were never the issue. Lack of communication was. Please stop boycotting behavior. I think behavior is the company. They are not transphobic. It is wrong to take bits of info and jump to your own conclusions. Behavior is a good company and has been nothing but kind and supporting through this tough process of receiving mass harassment for my involvement in the character. Leave it alone. Okay, fair enough. But then, why were you asking for fucking reparations, bitch? I feel that reparations from the team that deliberately tricked me is the only logical next course of action. You walked this back real fucking quick, didn't you? I have a feeling that if she said nothing, this would have blown over. Oh, absolutely, Panty Ranger. 100%. 100%. Fucking hell. Anyway, I think there are some... This guy here posted a video that has some of the voice clips in it. So I guess we'll just take a look. It's probably going to be a little bit spooky because it is, you know, a scary game. Let's see. I'll turn it down a bit. Oh, Kraken. Blip. Yep. Huh. Well, there we go. That's the voice. Oh no! Oh god. Oh, she's getting her brain sucked. So yeah. Like, I can see why people are memeing this as a trans woman, because if you go to like the very, very, anti-trans meme 4chan-esque side of the internet, you find a lot of memes about like just these grotesque creatures who are like, I'm trans, and they're like demons. I get the joke. It's a really mean joke, but it's funny, so I get it. But you have to conflate that with, this woman. Just seems nutty. It seems insecure on her part, and it seems like the company or like the trans activists just don't get the fucking joke on their part. You know what I mean? Because this is a very mean and cruel joke, but it is ultimately a joke. Like, no one is comparing this to this. All right? Do you guys know what I mean? Like, am I making any sense at all to you guys? Does it make any sense? Okay, what else did I find? Right, voice direction for the unknown. Okay, this is... Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah. And then, of course, like, this was Ricky Berwick's take, which is actually, like, it's a funny joke, right? Your profile pic, it's like a cute trans girl with, like, the trans-colored hair. And then you in real life. I get it. I get it. It's funny, Ha ha ha. It's funny. But to turn these jokes and to say that now it's transphobia because you're being made fun of, even if you're being made fun of in a cruel way, I think that's a bit much. And I think we can all tell that this is like nonsense, because she went from demanding reparations because she went viral in such a cruel way to walking it back and being like, don't harass the developers, guys. And of course, by the way, she's like deleted. She's deleted her account at this point, right? So it's all nonsense. This is all just nonsense, I think. Oh yeah, this is how I discovered she deleted her account. I was searching for information on this. I found this tweet, clicked on it, realized, oh, her account's gone. Yeah, account no longer exists. Yeah. Let's see, like here, like look at this person. You did an amazing job, and I'm sorry that such a vocal minority made these disgusting jokes. Thank you for being a part of our community. Listen, the jokes are disgusting, but they're jokes, all right? Jokes are allowed, okay? Jokes are definitely allowed, okay? Just slide into his DMs already. Okay, hold on. Chat. Let's be 100% fucking clear here, okay? This person, are you actually calling them a he? Like, this person looks like a woman, guys. Like, what the fuck? Thanks for the $5, Brian. I finally got Twitter. Sent me a video about the Confederate statues. Thanks, man. I'll take a look at it. Here. We're going to do a poll, because I'm kind of curious, all right? All right. How do you use pronouns? Biological sex only, or how they look? How they look. Passing. There you go. Yeah, okay, they're male, guys. Of course they're male. But they look like a woman, which is why I say she. All right? Let's see. I guarantee you the poll is probably going to be like hardcore. Oh, how they look is going to win. I'm surprised, actually. So here's the thing. So Chris Davis says, looks like a dude trying really hard. That's the point, though, right? Isn't that the point? is that they've tried really hard, and now they kind of look female. So it's like, you know what? Okay, I'll give it to you. You know, you've managed to carry yourself over the finish line. You know, biological sex only or how they look passing. I'm actually surprised that it wasn't the other way around. I thought it was going to be 1/3 saying how they look and 2/3 saying biological sex only. But okay, you guys are great. Can we go with how they behave? Sure. I thought your fan base was based, Dev. I'm a centrist, dude, and you know it. It's the jaw and the limb proportions. See, here's the thing. BG Noise says they are a dude trying really hard. Okay, fair enough, right? Fair enough. But nonetheless, I go by how they look, right? And actually, we'll settle this conversation right now. Okay? We'll settle this conversation right now. Okay? New poll. What pronouns for this person? He, him, she, her. So now I'm curious, okay? So chat, what pronouns for this individual here? Start poll. Is it he, him, or is it she, her? Also, type in the chat. What are their pronouns? What pronouns will you be using? We must do it, Dranzer. Yes. Everyone's saying he. Yeah. So this is a biological female, guys. It's in fact one of the most famous female to male transsexuals out there. And by the way, the trans activists hate this person. They call them transphobic constantly. But yeah, this is obviously he, him, because this person's earned it. It takes a lot of work to go from a biological female to looking like this. Which is why, by the way, I don't respect everyone who's like, I'm a man now, please. It's like, no, you're fucking not. Fuck you. But this person is. This person did it. Cool Tattoo is now a guy. I call him bro. Buck gender. $5 from Drac has never get past the nose of a lot of trans women. Looks plastic, both with Blair White and this one. I got a big nose, so I don't care. I'm used to big noses. I got a big Jew nose. Roll 2d10 and consult the pronoun table. Thanks, Lives and Does Walls. Thank you. Terashavenko, $10. Question regarding passing trans people. If a relationship is possible, when should the trans fact be revealed before too much time and money for courting is spent? It's gotta come out like sometime on the first date. It's gotta. The before pic. I don't know what Buck Angel's before pic looks like. Hold on. Let's see. See, here's the thing. C. Dranzer, you said, must we use the Buck Angel defense? I know you were sighing there because you know that it's actually true. And it's a good defense. That's why you don't like it. But it is real. Okay. There's not really any good pictures as far as I can tell. And I don't want to go hunting them, frankly. But anyway, that's the situation here. This person, they did a voice for a Dead by Daylight character. Seemed like a completely fine, normal person. The trans jokes, maybe they're mean, but they are just jokes. And they responded by demanding reparations, then immediately backing out of it, saying, don't harass the developer, probably because she realized how fucking bad it looked. And then she deleted her account. So it's like, good job. I guarantee you, if you just let them make their jokes, it would have been a 15-minute thing. It would have been gone in less than a day. But you had to turn it into a big thing and then start demanding more money out of the company you worked for. And now you've probably ruined your career. And it wasn't the trolls that ruined it. It was your reaction to the trolls that ruined it. All right? So, good job, lady. Here, you know what? You know what, guys? If you want the best, if you guys want the best argument as to why trans women are women, this is entirely femoid behavior. All right? No man would demand reparations from being like teased on the internet. $5 from Columbia. Can't wait when gene editing becomes a reality, as both the left and right will be against it. Meanwhile, making sure my children all have 150 IQ. Based. Okay. Let's move on to the next thing, fellas. Shall we? Okay. Okay. Oof. Okay, let's go. Spanish soldiers are changing gender to female for added benefits and higher pay. On the inside, I'm a lesbian. This was like a joke when I was in high school, and okay, I guess now it's a real thing. Okay. Spanish soldiers are changing their gender from male to female to earn certain benefits only available to females, including higher pay and better sleeping quarters, due to a self-ID law aimed at helping transgender people. Good job, fellas. 41 men in Spain's North Africa autonomous city, Ceuta, have made the drastic decision to change their gender on official documents from male to female, ever since the so-called trans law was implemented in March 2023. A majority of the now female soldiers have kept every other aspect of life, including male genitalia, sexuality, and even facial hair. On the outside, I feel like a heterosexual man, but on the inside, I'm a lesbian, says Army Corporal Roberto Perdigones. And it's the latter that counts. That is why I made the legal change to be a woman. Wow. Yep. He has since received a 15% salary raise. For changing my gender, I've been told that my pension has gone up because women get more to compensate for inequality. I also get 15% more salary for being a mother. So the soldier is using his additional privilege to sue for shared custody of his 16-year-old son, assuming the courts will now give him a better chance. Yep. Well, there we go. Wow. The Army Corporal was given a personal bathroom because he wasn't comfortable with sharing with either gender. I even have a private room in the barracks all to myself with a private bathroom. This is because I cannot be with men as I am a woman, and I do not consider it appropriate to be with biological women out of respect for them. Look at this fucking guy, dude. Whew. I mean, we all knew it was going to get here at some point, right? At how, like, stupid this is. You go, girl. You got to girl boss your way to the top. Super Bowl streaker says he bet $50,000 on his stunt, but his plan is falling apart because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. Wow, you're stupid, dude. You should have just streaked. And okay. A fan ran onto the Super Bowl field, disrupting the March of Victory. Okay. Later identified as Yuri Andrade, the fan had a pretty successful run as far as streakers go. He made it onto the field. He got some photos taken of himself in a hot pink one piece emblazoned with the name of an adult website. and evaded security long enough to interrupt the game. He even got a fantastic call from a legendary play-by-play man, Kevin Harlan, who was broadcasting the game on the radio. But after his stunt, viral reports began coming out that Andrade's run had been even more successful than initially thought. Not only had he made it onto the field, but he also claimed to have done so after placing a $50,000 wager that the Super Bowl would have a streaker, thus cashing in for $374,000. His claim immediately raised eyebrows in the betting community. As Patrick Everson of Covers.com noted on Twitter, offshore sportsbooks likely would have limits in place to prevent such a bet from being made. So wait, hold on. So he lost his winnings because he bet on there being a streaker than he did it himself? What a fucking retard, dude. Well, okay. Let's continue on. A cruise passenger has been arrested for filming 150 people in the ship's bathrooms. The FBI is trying to find potential victims, which includes at least 40 minors. Jesus. A passenger has been arrested on federal charges for allegedly hiding a camera in a bathroom on one of the world's largest cruise ships, capturing footage of more than 150 people, including dozens of children. Jeremy Froyas, who until this week worked as a cybersecurity officer for the Central Florida city of Kissimmee, was arrested in Puerto Rico for video voyeurism and attempted possession of child exploitation material. He boarded Royal Caribbean International's Harmony of the Seas on April 29th for a week-long voyage with stops in St. Martin, St. Juan, and the Bahamas. The next day, according to an arrest affidavit, he hid a Wi-Fi camera in a bathroom on the ship's top deck near a bar, and a surfing simulator called the Flowrider. Froyas placed it in a part of the wall above the door that had been removed for repairs. The ship can hold 5,400 guests with 2 people to a cabin, or a maximum of nearly 6,700. Only the lens was visible, but another passenger spotted it on the night of May 1st and reported it to the crew. Security officers on board found several hours' worth of video files on a memory card. We are aware of an incident that occurred on board Harmony of the Seas. Oh, Jesus Christ, guys. Footage shows Froyas hiding the camera and adjusting it to point it at a toilet. The affidavit says Froyas appears to have connected his iPhone to the camera as well. In the time the camera was mounted, it had captured videos of more than 150 people, including what appears to be 40 minors. Individuals are seen coming into the bathroom to either use the toilet or to change into or out of swimsuits, the affidavit says. Froyas' camera captured these individuals in various stages of undress, including the capturing videos of their naked genitals, buttocks, and female breasts. The FBI is asking anyone who believes they or their children were victims, who might have information relevant to the case. Let's see. Froyas admitted he had put the camera in the bathroom and said he realized it had been discovered earlier that evening after he tried but failed to find it in the bathroom. Footage shows that he returned to the bathroom at some point that day to adjust the camera's angle. Wow, dude. That's fucking wild. $5 from Seki Jokes. Thank you. Trad LARPers, Troon Groomers, Modern Woman rightfully fear the tomboy, for she represents the 4th position that would redeem the femoid race. Based. So yeah, like this is fucked up, obviously. Like this is actually fucked up, you know? Oh yeah, check this out, guys. A girl who was born with a 6-centimeter long tail in Brazil has been operated on successfully. It's a deformed ass tail. Researchers from the Center of Fetal and Placental Research in Ohio have studied the case alongside Brazilian doctors. In their report, the researchers said the mother had no history of drug use or illness. She was just born with a tail, dude. Yeah, this is not like that cute kind of tail that anime girls have. This is weird. A girl born with a 6-centimeter long tail in Brazil due to a rare genetic disorder was operated on successfully. Medical experts said that due to a gap in her spine, the baby was born with an extra appendage. During the surgery, the hole was closed and the tail was removed. The tail was generated from the lumbrosacral region, the area that connects the spine to the pelvis. Oh. Damn. That's weird, dude. So it resembled a tail, but it was caused by spine problems or tumors. Okay. All right. This seems to be just a kind of a routine surgery, just really weird looking, you know? Like, look at that. I choose to come back with my lunch at the wrong time. Here's our thumbnail for today. Missouri teen in shocking high school beatdown pictured fighting hard to stay alive after attack. This, I don't know if you guys saw the video of it. Like, she just had the complete shit kicked out of her, dude. Like, she's in a coma, I think. Can we play it? Graphic content. Yep, just fucking done. Oh god, the smashing of the head into the concrete. Fuck. Jesus. A Missouri teen was left in critical condition after another teenage girl slammed her head into the ground during a caught on camera brawl. Has been identified as 15-year-old named Kaylee. The young teen was pictured smiling away from the camera in a photo on a GoFundMe fundraiser shared by a family friend. Kaylee is fighting hard to stay alive and heal, but this is only the beginning of a very uphill battle. It's brutal, dude. Holy shit. Yeah, I know, World Star, but fuck. She is currently suffering from a serious brain bleed and swelling. Just don't notice, people, says Indirect Soder. Everyone, say the race of her attackers, journos. Don't get too black-pilled now, guys. Don't get too black-pilled. We don't know the extent of the brain damage that has occurred until she wakes up, but the path to recovery will be extremely hard. Yeah. They need $40,000. They've currently raised up $24,000. Yep. The teen was wounded Friday afternoon when a fight broke out near Hazelwood High School. Kaylee and a second identified girl started hitting each other before the latter pushed her to the ground and started punching her. Kaylee could be seen trying to defend herself while the other girl repeatedly called her a bitch. When the second team finally got on top of Kaylee and smashed her into the ground, onlookers could be heard yelling, "Damn!" Kaylee was eventually left lying motionless on the ground while the others continued to scuffle. After police arrived, she was taken into custody. Okay. The girl will wake up and say it was her whiteness. Fuck you. No, she won't. Okay. Luna Trigger says, "Too late, Dev. I dated a black woman. It's hard to go back." Hold on. It's real fun, isn't it? Hold on, Luna Trigger. Okay, hold on. I gotta say this correctly. Luna Trigger, you need to say in the chat, all right? Was the black girl you were into? Was she into race play? Yes or no? But yeah, every single racist, like, white nationalist account on Twitter is posting this and being like, "Do you see the pattern? Are you connecting the dots? I'm noticing. And it's like, dude, you can have like one black person kick the shit out of one white person brutally every single day, like for an entire year, and that would still only be like 360 whatever attacks in a nation of 300 million people. Like, individual stories like this don't actually tell you much. You need large blocks of data, not individual stories. But individual stories are what moves people, are what move people's hearts. You know what I mean? No, but I live in Finland. She was from Africa. Oh, okay, fair enough. You can like black women but hate black culture. Am racist just like them. Simple as. Fenlander, you got to look into the divestors. You guys know what divestors are? Hold on. Okay, let's see here. Here. So, listen. We're going to go through a bit of a whiplash here, okay, guys? So, here is there's two definitions of divester, all right? One from last year, one from several years ago. Okay? Let's read the one from last year. Divester. A very strange group of women who claim to be, hold on, $5 from Even Uno. First time checking my weeklies live, and I'm first going to see the massacre. Thanks for the hard-hitting news, Dev. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Okay, listen. Divester. A very strange group of women who claim to be all about black female empowerment, yet instead waste all their time arguing and posting about black men and non-black people on social media, acting chummy with white supremacists, and pedestalizing and obsessing over non-black males, while calling black women who don't agree with them overweight, unpicked mammies. They are just as male-identified as the black women they are dragging. They don't even realize it. If you're a black woman/girl, it is imperative. Do not fall in line with the divesters! And this stops being a definition and turns into like a checklist of what you need to do, which is fucking ridiculous. What are divesters? Stay far away from them. Divesters align themselves with white supremacists. Made by Black Rose. Okay, we know what you are. Now, this is very clearly someone who's like, I hate divesters. We need to. So let's actually find out what divesters actually are. Okay? Here's the older definition. A divester is a black woman who puts herself first. Divesters walk away from toxic behaviors in the black community. The toxicity can include non-reciprocal struggle love for the sake of black love, being activist warriors for a group of men who don't protect them, baby mama culture. Divesters avoid toxic black people, particularly the men, who are black women's number one victimizers. Unicorns are so rare that vetting isn't worth it. A divester is not male-identified or conventionally woke like many black women can be. She is not bound to any unwritten rules of Blackistan. Divesters care deeply about black women as a demographic, especially in the context of black femicide and domestic violence, but may avoid some individual black women due to their proximity to toxic black male worship. Many divesters date interracially and leave the hood, but it's a myth that divestment's ethos is to date a white man. A divester can be happily single, child-free, with a Latino or an Asian man, a co-parenting mom, middle class, minimalist, even a lesbian. Divesters have a growth, wellness, and self-preservation mindset. Healing from traumas related to the black community. Young divesters tend to focus on educational goals. Older divesters tend to focus more on their physical health and newfound freedom. A divester loves her blackness, but not the bullshit that comes with it. She is not a tribalist, and she knows that black power is about black men. She can be from anywhere in the diaspora. So here's the conversation, okay? A divester's sister says, "You acting funny because you dating out." Dating out, by the way, means dating somebody, a black woman who's dating somebody who's not black. All right? You acting funny because you dating out. You think you better than us with all your degrees. You ain't on Instagram no more. I don't know what you be doing. Octavius has been trying to get with you for the longest. He ain't got no churrin, and he ain't in any run-ins with the law. And then the divester says, "Is that the bare minimum? That doesn't make any person a good man. I'm with someone who treats me well. He has an equivalent educational level. He has real interests and hobbies outside of social media, rap, sneakers, weed, and hustling, and doesn't have weird views on how our relationship dynamics should be just because I'm a black woman. My man cooks for me, he admires my accomplishments rather than competes with me, and he is doing very well at providing infrastructure for our future life. I stopped being on Instagram because you kept posting celebrities and dusty men with podcasts." So, basically the idea, this wasn't written by a black person? No, it wasn't. But basically the idea is that there is a group of black women who are saying, I don't want to be part of this terrible black subculture. I want to leave the fucking hood. I want to go to school. I want to get a decent job. I want to get the fuck out. Okay? And oftentimes they do that, one, from going to school, and two, from dating non-black men. And they are considered to be traitors for doing this. And that's what a divester is. I want to do a video on this at some point, because it's an interesting phenomenon. But okay, there's your divester education. So, next article. An erectile dysfunction drug may lower the Alzheimer's risk. Dude, Dev's retarded. Fuck you. No, I'm not. Not about this. If you take sildenafil to treat erectile dysfunction or pulmonary arterial hypertension, here's good news. That pill may also be protecting you from Alzheimer's disease. Researchers analyzed the insurance claims of 7.23 million people and found that people who use this drug were 69% less likely to develop Alzheimer's over a 6-year period than non-users. Hey, Naomi, are you interrupting me?
Always.
Naomi!
Yeah, man.
Why are you here?
Look what time it is. Look what
Yeah.
time it is.
Yeah, I know.
What time did I finish work today?
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just trolling you. I'm
4.
trolling you. Okay, hey. How was your day?
That's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anything happen?
It's busy.
Mwah.
It snowed.
It snowed? Yeah, it did.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Hey, Chet.
I guess I ranted too long earlier because I probably have to stop soon.
Idiot.
Yeah. Sorry.
You're dumb.
Oh, I thawed out some pasta sauce if you want to boil some noodles.
It requires effort.
God damn it, woman, just go do it.
How about no? How about
Okay.
you boil noodles?
I'm currently fucking streaming now. You know what? Fuck you. Go in the kitchen. Get in the kitchen right now. God damn it. Come here.
No.
You know what?
Fucking, you just said you were streaming! Ah! Stop it! Go straight.
Nope. Here, you know what?
Stop!
That's
Ow!
Are you okay?
No.
What happened?
You.
What happened, Naomi?
Broke my butt.
Did the roughhousing go too far?
Yes. Ow.
Are you alright?
No.
God damn it, Naomi, your pants are falling down. I'm gonna turn on the camera.
Fuck off.
Hey, can you get up?
No.
Can you get up, Naomi?
God, shut up! Pretend I'm not here.
I'm gonna help you get up.
No! Stop!
Here. Ah. Now stay there for a minute.
Fine. Fine.
Okay. Okay, guys. Dev strips his woman. Okay. Did this turn into a porno? No. No. You're roughhousing and she accidentally hurt herself.
You hurt me!
Nope. I did not do it. Oh, fuck. Back in the kitchen, woman based. Let me quickly get any super chats that I missed. Naomi, is Dev late for his daily pegging? Fuck off, Boog. Goodest Boy, $20. Crazy how Next Benedict received more attention and support. This is actual footage of a girl having her head slammed into the ground, and bullying hawks are mostly silent. I don't know who Next Benedict is. I have to look it up. But thank you for the $20, dude. Death of a non-binary teen ruled a suicide. I have no clue who this is. I have to look at this. I have to look at the story. But thank you. Help her up, you scoundrel. I already did. I already fucking did. This is going to be on trial like the Nikocado Avocado murder screen. Okay. Anyway, listen, guys. Yeah, I don't know what the next story is. Sorry. But anyway, it turns out that there's a possible... Here, to go back to the article. And honestly, even though I only did half the articles, I should probably end it. It's getting to be a little bit late. Basically, what's going on with this here is that if you use this drug, there's a link showing examining brain cells from Alzheimer's patients and found that sildenafil users had more brain cell growth and slower formation of neurofibrillary tangles in the brain, an early biomarker of Alzheimer's. So yeah, damn. I wonder if that's true. I mean, imagine taking Viagra because you can't get it up anymore, and you just save yourself from Alzheimer's. That's wild. Okay. Dev goes full JF and just fucking murders Naomi. Are Adam and Sitch on? Those scoundrels, those snakes. They're good guys, actually. Here, who's currently online? Yeah, you know what? We'll go raid. We'll go raid Adam and Sitch, because I gotta go. It's time. I only did half the articles today, but Artemis distracted me. I'll do the other half next time, okay? I'll save them for next week. Thanks very much, everyone. I appreciate everything. I appreciate all the support. You guys tossed a whole bunch of money my way today. I really appreciate it. New videos coming soon, okay? Oh, God. Oh, fuck. I'm just stretching. Okay. Listen, I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Have a good one, guys. Sorry for the less articles than normal, but you know what? We had a good time anyway. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.